Welcome, I'm XX Author and this is my unknown channel, and today you'll watch this unknown review on Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. Ikuzo! Stardust Memory is one of the better Gundams, not my favorite but just one of the better Gundams I've watched from the 90s. Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory is an OVO from 1991, made by Sunrise, also known for Code Geass, Cowboy Bebop, Ginta, Inuyasha, and Escaflowne. Stardust Memory is under the genre of adventure, drama, mecha, and sci-fi, and at the time of this recording, you can stream it on Prime Video, or the dub version is free on YouTube, link is in the description below. Before I start this review and talk about the story, I want to exclaim that I dabble in Gundam. I'm not the most versed in Gundam, but I've watched my fair share of Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory takes place 3 years after the 1-year war and opens with a single act that reignites conflict. A Zeon ace steals a nuclear-armed Gundam, and what starts as a chase quickly becomes a turning point for the entire Universal Century timeline. We follow a rookie pilot, Kou Uraki, who is thrown into real combat far earlier than he's ready for. His pursuit aboard the Albino isn't just about recovering stolen technology, it becomes a coming of age story where each battle forces him to grow, question orders, and confront the realities of war beyond heroics. As the chase moves from Earth to space, the stakes escalate. The stolen Gundam is revealed to be a part of a larger plan, a calculated attempt by Zeon remnants to destabilize the Earth Federation and prove that the war never truly ended. Massive fleet battles, political maneuvering, and experimental mobile suits raise the scale from personal rivalry to global consequences. I'd say so, more universal consequences, to be honest with you. Global, universal, you know. At the center of it all is Kyo's rivalry with Anavel Gato, a clash of ideas as much as pilots. Their encounters mirror the larger Gundam theme of soldiers trapped between loyalty, pride, and the cost of escalation. New machines like the GP03 represent the escalation visually, showing how technology keeps pushing conflict further than resolving it. By the end, Stardust Memory shifts from a revenge story into a political tragedy. Victorious feels hollow, sacrifices are buried under bureaucracy, and the aftermath reshapes the Federation itself, laying the groundwork for a darker era that follows in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. It's less about who wins the battle and more about how war creates the systems that makes the next one inevitable. For me, the story is gonna get a C. That's a 7 out of 10. So I know there are more important characters in Stardust, but I want to start off by talking about Nina. I want to talk about Nina first because I didn't like her that much since she just came off as annoying. Yeah, and she just couldn't choose between Kyo and Gato, which led to a lot of people dying, and she just had felt like no repercussions at all for her actions. She just walked around with no accountability. If I'm Kyo at the end of the show, Nina's smiling at me, I'm like, don't smile at me, don't look at me at all, like for real. Like it's just, she just kind of, you know, was just a little bit not my favorite character, my least favorite character in the show. And that's saying a lot because we have like Mancha in the show as well, right? Kyo was cool. I generally found this character to be unoffensive. He fought his fights and sometimes he lost without any real motive at the start. But then he gathers why he fights, right? And then, you know, like why he fights, right? He started to fight because of his fallen friends and his, you know, his motives and like that. So, you know, I thought at the end that Kyo was a cool character. For sure. This leads to Gato, who asks, why do you fight at the start? This was just a statement, but later Kyo understood what he meant by that. Gato had a purpose when fighting throughout Stardust, as he was doing it for Zeon and his people that came before him and fought and died. Gato was goal-oriented, and you could see it in his eyes, which really made me like him a lot. As you know, this is a Gundam anime, so there's a huge plethora of characters. Overall, everybody did their part to elevate the 3 characters I just mentioned. Yeah, I feel like it was, everybody did the job, everybody was cool, but I just want to also hate that I'm not a big fan of Mancha. Mancha was kind of, I guess he did elevate Kyo, but you know, still I didn't really like Mancha as a character. I'm gonna give characters a C. The animation was really good along with the choreography. With this basically being an 80s anime, it's not really an 80s anime, it's from 1991, but I imagine they started working on it in the late 80s, like 90s. I don't really know how long it takes. They could have started working into 1990, or they could have started working on Stardust Memory in 1989, right? So it could be an 80s anime technically, right? But being that's such a timely masterpiece, that there is no CGI. So, and along with the shorter run span of the show Stardust, it's only 13 episodes. With that shorter run time, they can compact a lot more action scenes, and it looks really good. It just looks really good. The animation looks really good. With the animation just looking really good, you get a lot of sequences, like at least one sequence per scene, depending on what kind of episode. If it's a more chill episode, not really. But if it's like a high octane episode, then you get really good like mecha scenes, really good fight, like 2D animated mecha scenes, and that's really fun to watch. But I'm not really there to watch, for animation when I come for the Gundam. Like, yeah, I'm there for the animation, but I'm really there for the political maneuvering. I love political stuff in anime, like, and Gundam pulls that off really well. But yeah, if there's not much really going on with the animation and it is just more of a chill scene, the character models look really good. They still look really good. So I have no complaints with the animation. And one thing I want to point out, particularly I like how when things explode, like some of the explosions are pink. I like this because it makes me thirsty and hungry. It makes me think of like cream soda Fanta or cream soda Crush, right? It just makes me hungry. I don't know, I just want to eat something like that's pink whenever I see like one of those pink explosions. Anyway, the animation is getting a beat. Cinematography. The cinematography was really good. Once again, since it's just a shorter series, they can focus and condense, like more focus on like the cinematography, on the animation. So the cinematography becomes like a central part of, the way they tell story. And I can throw some shots up on screen. I want to use some shots from the redone version. It's like a short movie. It's like a movie, and I want to do that because those scenes are in HD and you can really get to see what the vision was for like when it was in the 90s. But these are HD shots which are done after the original version, but it's still essentially the same thing, so I want to show you that. And just a lot of shots like linger longer to capture the feeling and scale and mise en scène. So with that all being said, beautiful everything looks with the color, with the lighting. Cinematography is going to get an A for me. Sound. The music was quite good with the soundtrack overall. It was here throughout the Stardust, the emotional scenes, the action scenes. You could hear Stardust. You could hear the soundtrack at all times, and it was quite good. However, I want to bring to light one thing, the best thing about the soundtrack in Stardust Memory, okay? The OP. The first OP is called The Winner, and you just won't believe who it is sung by. It is sung by Miki Matsubara. That is crazy, because if you don't know who she is, she's the one who sang "Stay With Me." Anata nata mata tataki. Manina nanina manina. Hey, hey. Mata tiko de deo. Mananina nana. Stay with me. She sung that song. That song like carried through COVID on like TikTok and Instagram and the anime community. That song was carrying, bro. Holy. Right, that song carried me through COVID, but I'm not gonna lie. So that gets a little extra points for me, right? RP Miki though, she died of cancer, I think, right? So RP Miki, she'll live throughout Stardust. Music gets into C. World building. Once again, I'm not too versed in the Gundam like lore. However, it does show you what happens between Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, we get to see, all the different Gundams. We get to see, the Zeon soldiers, how the Federation was. It's a little bit of a different kind of Gundam. It's not all about like kids, as Kyo is not a kid. He's he's quite experienced, not war experienced, but he's a trained soldier. So that's pretty cool. World building gets a C. Themes I would like to focus on is why do you fight? This theme explores why does our two main characters fight, such as Gato for the Zeon Empire and his fallen friends, while Kyo fights more for his friends and his fallen friends and to protect the people. But once again, he grows into this. This can be applied for anything in life, right? It's like, why do you do anything? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Everybody has this soldier. Everybody has the battle within life, right? So I think, in that sense, Kyo and Gato are quite respectable characters, and those themes prevail. Themes is going to get a C for me. Judgement. In the end, I thought Stardust Memory was an amazing addition to the Gundam series and the Gundam franchise overall. It has a wonderful story and animation was looking great, absolutely wonderful for 90s anime, and I believe that this would be a great start if you want to get into 90s anime, because like the animation looks really good, right? Even for the time, it looks really good. It's very fluid and it has such a compelling story, interesting characters, and I just feel like if you're trying to get into 90s anime and you're just trying to get into, maybe you like Gundam, maybe you like the newer Gundams and you want to get into older Gundam, Stardust Memory is a really good place to start because it's detached from the rest. It's attached to the rest of Gundam, but it's detached at the same time. So I feel like it's a really good start. So for me, Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory gets a C. That is a 7 out of 10 in my rankings. Recommendations. So what am I going to recommend? If you like Stardust Memory, I'm going to recommend you Macross Plus, 86, and Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Or Mobile Suit Gundam 00. So this is an actual interesting story how I found out about Stardust Memory. It's because I was once again helping a client trying to find a specific anime. He was telling me about the animation and how the animation looked, and it was like mecha and whatnot. So I went, did my research, and I found the anime he was looking for. But on the process of finding that anime, I found Stardust and I'm like, this looks interesting. I never watched it, and I watched it and I like Stardust, so I had to do a review on it. And the anime he was looking for was actually Macross Plus, the one I mentioned before. Inspiration. What will I take out of Stardust Memory? What I will take out of Stardust Memory is just how to write a similar rivalry between Gato and Kou, as their dynamic is a little bit different from others. But surprisingly, something you're not really taking in is I also want to write annoying characters like Nina, right? Because, she is annoying, but that doesn't make her bad. Like, she has this conflict between like my boyfriend and this my other lover. It's like a love triangle, and it caused a lot of people to die. I still think it's really something I want to do. It's really something I'd really like to do in the future when it comes to writing a character who's conflicted and just makes a terrible mistake. Go check out my book on the YouTube channel. It should be somewhere here. And go follow all my social medias. And you made it this far, so you might as well subscribe, like, and comment. And tell me what you thought about Stardust Memory. Did you think it was good, bad, or mid? Let me know in the comments. And we are trying to get to 200 subscribers, so please subscribe. Now, Janae, my anime cult.